Pandesal story, a beloved staple Filipino bread. The story of Pandesal begins in the 16th century when the Philippines was colonized by Spain. The Spaniards brought with them not only their language, religion, and customs, but also their culinary traditions. Among these were European baking techniques and recipes that would eventually transform the local food landscape. One of the key influences was the introduction of wheat, which was not native to the Philippines. Prior to this, the Filipino diet was primarily based on rice, corn, and root crops. Wheat was initially expensive and scarce, making bread a luxury item available only to the wealthy and the colonial elite. Spanish bread varieties such as pan de suelo and pan de agua started to gain popularity among the locals. Over time, these bread recipes were adapted to suit the Filipino palate and available ingredients, leading to the creation of Pandesal, which literally translates to salt bread in Spanish. Pandesal was originally made with wheat flour, yeast, sugar, and salt. Its distinctive soft and slightly crusty texture, along with its mildly sweet flavor, made it a favorite among Filipinos. As the demand for Pandesal grew, local bakers began to experiment with the recipe, incorporating different ingredients and techniques. This adaptability is one of the reasons why Pandesal has endured through the centuries and remains popular today. In the early days, Pandesal was baked in traditional wood-fired ovens called pugans. These pugans imparted a unique flavor and aroma to the bread, which is still sought after by many Pandesal enthusiasts. The process of baking Pandesal was labor-intensive, with bakers waking up in the early hours of the morning to prepare the dough and bake the bread in time for breakfast. This tradition of early morning baking has been preserved, with many Pandesal bakeries opening their doors at dawn to serve freshly baked rolls to their customers. The American occupation of the Philippines in the early 20th century brought further changes to the country's food culture. American influences introduced new baking methods and ingredients, such as commercial yeast and baking powder, which made bread making more efficient and accessible. During this period, Pandesal underwent further modifications to accommodate these new techniques and to cater to the evolving tastes of the Filipino people. One significant development was the shift from traditional pugan ovens to modern gas and electric ovens. This transition allowed for more consistent baking conditions and larger-scale production. As a result, Pandesal became more widely available and affordable, cementing its place as a daily staple in Filipino households. Additionally, the introduction of enriched flour and other additives enhanced the nutritional value of Pandesal, making it a more substantial and satisfying food option. Today, Pandesal remains a beloved part of Filipino culture. It is enjoyed in various ways, from being dipped in coffee or hot chocolate to being filled with a variety of spreads and fillings, such as butter, cheese, jam, or even savory options like corned beef or adobo. The versatility of Pandesal makes it a versatile canvas for culinary creativity, allowing it to evolve continuously while retaining its essential characteristics. In modern times, the rise of artisanal baking and the growing interest in traditional Filipino foods have led to a resurgence of interest in Pandesal. Many bakers are returning to the roots of Pandesal making, using traditional methods and high-quality ingredients to recreate the classic flavor and texture of this beloved bread. This movement has given rise to a new generation of Pandesal enthusiasts who appreciate the craftsmanship and heritage behind every roll. Pandesal is more than just a type of bread, it is a symbol of Filipino identity and resilience. It represents the fusion of different cultural influences that have shaped the Philippines over centuries, from Spanish colonialism to American occupation and beyond. Each bite of Pandesal carries with it a piece of history, a testament to the adaptability and creativity of the Filipino people. Moreover, Pandesal holds a special place in Filipino daily life. It is often associated with fond memories of family gatherings, leisurely breakfasts, and the comforting routine of everyday life. The aroma of freshly baked Pandesal wafting through the air is a familiar and nostalgic scent for many Filipinos, evoking feelings of warmth and home. Despite its enduring popularity, Pandesal faces challenges in the modern world. The rise of mass-produced bread and the proliferation of global food chains have introduced new competition. Additionally, economic factors such as the fluctuating prices of wheat and other ingredients can impact the affordability and availability of Pandesal. However, these challenges also present opportunities for innovation and adaptation. Many bakers are exploring alternative ingredients and techniques to create healthier and more sustainable versions of Pandesal. For example, the use of whole grain flours, natural sweeteners, and locally sourced ingredients is becoming more common. This not only enhances the nutritional value of Pandesal, but also supports local agriculture and promotes food security. The story of Pandesal is a rich tapestry woven with history, culture, and tradition. From its origins in the Spanish colonial era to its present-day status as a beloved Filipino staple, Pandesal has evolved and adapted through the centuries, reflecting the resilience and creativity of the Filipino people. As we look to the future, it is clear that Pandesal will continue to hold a special place in Filipino culture, cherished for its simplicity, versatility, and the comforting sense of home it brings to all who partake in its timeless delight. Now, we bring you the beloved Filipino bread, Pandesal.
Ingredients: 4 cups all-purpose flour, ½ cup sugar, 1 teaspoon salt, 1 tablespoon active dry yeast, 1¼ cups warm milk, 110 degrees Fahrenheit per 45 degrees Celsius, ¼ cup unsalted butter, melted, 1 large egg, ½ cup breadcrumbs. Step 1. Prepare the yeast mixture. In a small bowl, combine 1¼ cups of warm milk, 110 degrees Fahrenheit per 45 degrees Celsius, and ½ cup of sugar, stirring until the sugar dissolves. Sprinkle 1 tablespoon of active dry yeast over the milk, and let it sit for about 5 to 10 minutes until it becomes frothy. This step activates the yeast, ensuring your dough rises properly. Step 2. Prepare the dry ingredients. In a large mixing bowl, sift together 4 cups of all-purpose flour and 1 teaspoon of salt. Sifting helps to aerate the flour, making for a lighter, fluffier dough. Make a well in the center of the flour mixture. Step 3. Combine wet and dry ingredients. When the yeast is ready, pour it into the well of the dry ingredients. Add ¼ cup of melted unsalted butter and 1 beaten egg. Mix the ingredients with a wooden spoon or your hands until they come together to form a shaggy dough. Step 4. Knead the dough. Turn the dough out onto a lightly floured surface. Knead it for about 10 minutes, or until it becomes smooth and elastic. If the dough is too sticky, add a little more flour, 1 tablespoon at a time. Step 5. First rise. Place the kneaded dough in a lightly greased bowl, turning it to coat all sides with oil. Cover the bowl with a damp cloth or plastic wrap. Let it rise in a warm, draft-free place for about 1 to 2 hours, or until it has doubled in size. Rising time may vary depending on the temperature of your environment. Step 6. Shape the dough. Once the dough has risen, punch it down to release the air. Transfer it back to the floured surface and divide it into 24 equal portions. Shape each portion into a ball. Step 7. Coat with breadcrumbs. Roll each dough ball in breadcrumbs to coat it completely. Place the breaded dough balls on a baking sheet lined with parchment paper, spacing them about 1 inch apart to allow room for expansion. Step 8. Second rise. Cover the dough balls with a damp cloth and let them rise again for about 30 minutes, or until they have puffed up. Preheat your oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit, 175 degrees Celsius during this second rise. Step 9. Bake the Pandesal. Once the dough balls have risen, bake them in the preheated oven for 15 to 20 minutes, or until the tops are lightly golden and the Pandesal sounds hollow when tapped. Step 10. Cool and serve. Remove the Pandesal from the oven and let them cool slightly on a wire rack. Enjoy the Pandesal warm, with a cup of coffee or hot chocolate. You can dip them, spread them with butter or jam, or enjoy them plain.